You are now live with Dylan Kimlin.
Hello everyone, this is Dylan Kimlin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's episode we're going to take a look at the 2026 sanctioned tournament list for the Australian pickleball scene, and I'll also take a little bit of a look at what's going on over in New Zealand as well. Before we dive into it, if you haven't yet, please follow us on socials to keep up to date with all things Australian pickleball. Fair to say the next following month is going to be mental. I did release a video before this one talking about the NPL finals, but additionally we will have the Melbourne Grand Slam coming up and then Kooyong. So I'll be broadcasting and commentating all of those events. What an amazing way to finish the year. But I thought, let's just have a look at what's happening next year and, we can roll into it. Obviously, if you haven't yet, please follow the Pickleball Australia social media pages as well, as all the information we're going to reference today is mainly from their side of things. For t-shirt time today, I'm rocking my Live with DK uniform. Big ego here, rocking my own uniform. But this here is from the lovely Stace out of Redcliffe. She occasionally makes uniforms and playing tops for players around Southeast Queensland. So thank you, Stace. Wearing the bright colours today. Also got the Salty Dinks hat on. Stay salty. So all of the information today, viewers, we're going to take a look at will be available via the Pickleball Australia website. Now, I'm always someone that tries to provide information that you at home can access. All the resources are public. Obviously, I have access to a lot of private and confidential information, but I never try to talk about it too much because you at home, I could just be full of it, right? But all of the information I show, you at home can publicly access. So if you go to the Pickleball Australia website, on their homepage, it will have obviously their new branding, their new colors, etc. And if you go onto play and have a look at the 2026 sanctioned tournament list, you can bring that up. There is obviously the 2025 as well. Now, I think the sanctioned tournament list is pretty solid. Like if you're someone that wants to travel around the country to play, this is pretty much a must-have. Bookmark it now because you can always just have a look. Oh, I might have some annual leave in July. Let's see where tournaments are going, Oh my goodness, WhatsApp, I closed you down. That's Bruce Winther there being noisy. Good old Sunny Coast chat. But the list is very handy. And one thing I want to talk about before we dive into it too much is I will be doing a tournament review of 2025 where I'm going to dive into this particular topic a lot more. But I do think the amateur tournaments and the pro tournaments are two separate beasts altogether. I, this year, made the decision to more just work with the amateur events. And I found the growth rates, participation rates of our amateur events has just skyrocketed. We have so many awesome tournaments coming through for our amateurs. And as a result, the numbers are immense. It's so good to see. The pro events I did, obviously I'm doing the NPL. I just will be covering the NPL finals in Kooyong. But this year, I was more involved with the amateurs, and as such, it was a really good experience. But the pro space we will touch on a little bit as we go in. Now, obviously, there were some controversies with the 2025 sanctioned tournament list, namely that the MLPA PPA format effectively just decided to completely change their entire schedule midway through the year. And as such, that really not harmed, but it financially affected quite a lot of players. And there was a little bit of, some people were disgruntled as a result. I'm not going to dive too much into it, but they have put in a request regarding the 2026 sanctioned tournaments list, and it has affected where their events are compared to other events, which we will see looking into it now. Another thing that's probably really important to mention is the NPL have not put any of their tournaments in. I am sure there's a behind the scenes of what they're actually doing. My understanding is if the MLPA can just go and on a whim change their entire schedule with no penalty whatsoever, the NPL can just take their time. Like, why are they going to be in a mad rush if there's no penalties that you can just go and change your entire schedule? Everyone else can get buggered. So we will see how this all pans out, viewers. But I do think the sanctioned events really it's only the amateur events that really have to abide by it. Everyone else can just do whatever they want. Hopefully that changes in years to come. But let's take a sticky beak at it. Obviously, next year is going to be mental. I'm not going to cover any overseas events. I want to make that clear just before we get in, besides a couple of the New Zealand events. And namely, that's just because obviously our overseas events mainly just affect the pros. and they already know what's coming up. You know, they're all sponsored. They get told very early what events are when. They're well and truly in the loop. Whereas I'm just going to focus on the Australian events for all of our players that might not necessarily be able to travel all around the world to play pickleball. Those players are very lucky and good on them for doing so. So obviously here on the PA website, we've got all of the various events popping up. If you are interested in any of these events, just pop on over to the link that I've just shown and you can just have a look, click on it, go straight in and have a sticky beak. Now, for me, you will notice that there are various lists here on the tournaments. So there's T1s, T2s, T3s, pretty much it categorizes the level of the sanction, I suppose, or the how much of a priority it is. Okay, so we can see here, for instance, the Vic Champs, which is the Vic Open, is a gigantic tournament, is a T3. Something like Dingfest in Port Macquarie is a T1, and PPA here is a T5. We've got the Big Chill as a T2 as well. For the regular play at home, you guys will be like, I don't know what any of that means. Fair enough. It's only mainly relevant to the people that are actually sanctioning events, as well as obviously AR rankings. So if you are someone that wants to go in for the rankings, this is where it's relevant. Okay. So we will, for this video, we're just going to dive in and take a quick little look at each month, what's going on. And I'm going to give my insight on events that I've covered, because I've covered a large percentage of all of these events. So straight off the bat, here in January, we can see the first 3 events are in New South Wales. So it's great to see New South Wales pickleball in the last 2 years has just exploded. I did a video earlier this year on the popularity and the growth of the Australian pickleball scene, and New South Wales are easily ahead of the pack now regarding membership numbers. So no surprise at all to see 3 events there. Now, Dingfest in Port Macquarie, I covered this year at the start of the year. It was an incredible event. I was so happy to do it, and I haven't signed a contract with them yet. We're just negotiating things, but I imagine there's a very high chance that I will be there in January again. If you are looking for a little start of the year tournament to sort of roll the shoulder over and get into it, and you want a little bit of a holiday, I can strongly recommend the Dingfest down in Port Macquarie. Additionally, as we scroll on through, we will see some other events pop up. So there's the Ballarat tournament in Victoria, the 24th and 26th of January. But additionally, we have the Hobart Grand Slam. Now, I work alongside the Pickleball Tournaments Australia team, and I've done pretty much every Grand Slam to date. Grand Slams, I've made no bones about it. They are the best tournaments in Australia. If you are for the amateur players, I mean, the pros, pretty much none of them go to it, or a very small percentage of them go to the Grand Slams. We haven't really targeted the pros, to be dead honest with you. We've got 500 odd amateurs that want to come, or when I say amateur, it's effectively anyone that isn't a pro. 500 odd players that want to come to a Grand Slam. We're definitely going to cater to those players. So the broadcasts are really fun. We run amok, and the general experience overall is just so wholesome. We're trying to bring old school pickleball back. Now, this year, as we will go through, we have a bunch of Grand Slams we've opened up. We've also got the Australian Masters. Tony and the team have done just exceptional, and next year is going to be manic. So we have the Hobart Grand Slam, which I'm pleased to announce I will be covering. I'm going down to Tassie. I love visiting Tassie, and going to Hobart to do pickleball events. It's going to be an absolute treat. So that's on the 31st and 1st of February. Now, following that, we will have the Tassie Champs. So I didn't do the Tassie Champs this year, but I did do it in 2024. What an amazing event. Honestly, I have a lot of love for the Tasmanian pickleball scene, and, you know, I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. It is a genuine good experience. And it's at the time of the year where obviously Tassie can get a little bit cool. It's actually a break from the heat. You know, it's February. We're still in the middle of, I guess, the hot time of the year. But in Tassie, it's just starting to cool down. It's really pleasant. So Tassie Pickleball Champs, for your first state tournament of the year, mate, it is a genuine good experience, and I would highly recommend giving it a consideration. Following that, we have QPT Gold Coast. Now, QPTs, if you look at the number of QPTs from this year, like 2025 to 2026, it's fair to say they have gone berserk. There are so many QPTs, which the Queensland Pickleball Tour originally, from my understanding, it was supposed to be a regional event with all of the regional tournaments getting involved. And we will see a lot of, rural areas hosting a lot of the QPTs, but we're starting with the Gold Coast. So I guess according to PAQ, Gold Coast is rural. I don't know. I don't know what the go is there, but QPT Gold Coast will be 13th and 15th of Feb. I have a feeling I might be broadcasting this one, still to be determined. I really hope I am. I do enjoy doing the QPTs and the PAQ events. So time will tell what happens there. And if I'm not broadcasting it, hopefully someone else is. Now, following that, we have a PPA Australia event. Don't know where it is. Somewhere in New South Wales. So good event for you New South Wales players, I suppose. I really feel for our pro players, to be dead honest with you all. New South Wales is a pretty big state. I'm going to assume it's Sydney. But, we had a PPA event this year that was in Tweed. And anyway, hopefully it's a good event this year. And I do want to stress, viewers, I genuinely hope the players and the teams that play in the PPA MLPA this year, and the staff as well, those guys work their tails off, I hope they have a good year. Truly. I don't know if I'll be doing any work alongside them, but I do hope that 2026 is a good one for everyone involved. Now, QPT Gladdy, I just mentioned we're going to be having a bunch of QPTs, is at the 20th to the 22nd of Feb. Good to see Gladdy getting involved. The QPT events, we see more and more clubs and groups getting involved with the QPTs. And I guess the QPTs are a good, I don't want to say entry-level tournament, but if you are a club that wants to host an event, QPT comes into it. I have noticed that Toowoomba is not on this QPT list. I think it's an absolute travesty that they're not involved. They should have definitely had one in 2025, but they're not on the list for 2026. Don't know what the reason is there, but hopefully they get one down the road, which we will talk about Toowoomba later on in this event. Now, in this video, sorry. Now, we then follow on to the WA State Champs. Now, 2026, I had the pleasure of doing the Perth Grand Slam this year, popped over to Perth for it. It was just exquisite, exceptional event. Now, this here, big dates, viewers, 27th of Feb to the 2nd of March. It's a big tournament. So, the Western Australians have obviously got a lot of things planned. Very similar to what I was talking about if you wanted to pop over to Tassie, WA, same boat. The State Champs, just a good time in general. So we will see the 6th and 8th for the Tassie Champs, and then the 27th and 2nd for the WA. Following that, we will have the Sydney Grand Slam. I'm very pleased to announce that I will be covering this event. Sydney Grand Slam this year was just amazing. It was so close to being a perfect tournament. Oh, so close. We had rain in the final hour, and it really buggered it up. Leading into that, it was exceptional. The players played so well. The weather was good, except for the final hour. And the broadcast was hilarious. Jeez, we had so much fun doing it. Sydney Grand Slam, if you're a New South Wales player, it's pretty much a must-have at this point to go and participate. Going into March. Okay, so already we've only talked about 2 months, and there's obviously 8 weeks in 2 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tournaments in 2 months. There could be a discussion on how oversaturated the tournament space is, potentially. I think adding 1 billion QPTs hasn't helped, but anyway. Vic Open. So I'm pleased to announce that I'm very close to confirming that I'll be doing this event. Last year, the Vic Open is one of my favorite tournaments. It is just so much fun. Everyone gets amongst it. It's at the time of the year where a lot of the pros have a double as well, because a lot of the Victorian pros anyway, their tournament, like their pro calendar, hasn't necessarily really took off yet. There may be some overseas tournaments that they'll pop over to, but for March, it's just a great time. The weather's lovely, and yeah, for me, once again, the state champs in general, this is just a must-have, and the tournament team with Pickleball Victoria just continued to deliver. It's been a good event last year, and no doubt 2026 will be the same. Girls just want to have fun in Brisbane. It's a one-day tournament. I'm not too sure who's running that, but that'll no doubt be a blast. Good luck. Hopefully it's a good time. It runs at the same time as PPA Tour Australia, and that is on the 14th and 16th of March. So, PPA in New South Wales again. So they're starting their season with 2 events in New South Wales. I'm going to assume, Well, actually, I'm not even going to assume. I just don't know where they're going. So time will tell. I guess our PPA players will find out as we go along. Following that, we will then have the Big Chill in ACT. I've never done this event, viewers, but I've heard it's amazing. I've heard a lot of positive things about the Big Chill. I do know a lot of players this year went to the Vic Open and then went to the Big Chill following it. So maybe people will do the same. Hopefully that's the case. I do know this year with the Vic Open, because Queensland was getting smashed by cyclones, we had a bunch of players that effectively got flooded. They couldn't actually get home to Brisbane Gold Coast. And as a result, they all decided we're going to deviate and go to the Big Chill on the way. So, as a result, there was a lot of people that had a lot of fun with the Canberra event. Following that, we have the Australian Rainbow Pickleball Championships in New South Wales, 27th and 29th of March. So New South Wales region has a bunch of tournaments to get us going at the start of the year. It's really good to see. Following that, we then have the Aussie Masters. Now, I'll be covering pretty much all of the Aussie Masters next year. If it is for that, 40 plus category, anyone that's if you are age 40 or older, these are just exceptional tournaments, really fun events. Once again, following the same theory that I talked about with the Sydney Grand Slam, we're just trying to bring back old school pickleball, everyone there to have fun, put the egos away, leave that for the pro events. We're just there to have a good time. And Aussie Masters this year has been nothing but fun. So following that, we then have the first event for South Australia, which is the Adelaide Mini Tournament in Adelaide. And then following that, PCYC down in New South Wales as well. Now, for the South Australians, I would like to see more tournaments happening in SA. I've had the privilege of covering a lot of South Australians throughout 2025, and we will talk about the South Australian champs later on in the video, but just wonderful group of people. And just like the Western Australians, we don't get to see too many of them coming across. Some of them are nuts, like Catherine Griffin from South Australia is everywhere, or Andy Horridge from WA is everywhere. But, going and supporting their events is important, viewers. And obviously Adelaide, one of the most beautiful areas in Australia, very good food and wine, make it a holiday destination. Following that, in April, now this is when the tournament calendar just goes berserk, we will have the Brisbane Grand Slam, 3rd and 6th April. Simply put, it's a must-have for your calendar if you are in Southeast Queensland, Northern New South Wales. Just get it done. It's a great time. We've had nothing but fun, and yeah, it's just good. There's only so many positive things I can say about that tournament. It'll be good again. We then have the big deal. Obviously, my name being Dylan, I'm a big fan of this name of this tournament. Over in Melbourne, Victoria, 3rd to 6th of April. So they're aiming for big numbers with 3-day event. Great to see. We will also see a following Victorian tournament for the PPA Tour Australia. We will then see the New South Wales Pickleball Champs. Now, it's in Blacktown. I've covered a bunch of events over in Blacktown. It's good to see that they're getting another tournament as well. So the New South Wales Champs, I don't think I've ever called the New South Wales Champs. No, I haven't. But they always deliver big numbers. So obviously, like I mentioned, New South Wales Pickleball is just crazy. It's great to see Blacktown hosting another big event. Remember to pack your water. There's minimal bubbles there if you are going to that event. Noosa Doubles Classic. Oh, it's good to have an event back in Noosa. Jeez, the Noosa events are just legendary. From OGs like myself that have played. I've got a lot of love for the Sunny Coasters, and to see tournaments back in Noosa again, it's just a good thing. Obviously, there will be a lot of Queenslanders going to support the Noosa event, I hope, and get behind the Sunny Coast pickleball scene. QPT Redcliffe, I'm obviously biased. I was director of pickleball at Redcliffe. Simply put, one of the best tournament venues in the country. And QPT Redcliffe's always a good time. We have historically had rain at QPT Redcliffe. Hopefully that's not the case with this event. But, and once again, I guess Redcliffe is considered a rural area. So go and support the QPTs. There will be a lot of, that'll get packed out. That QPT will be packed, no doubt about it. Battle of the Border, New South Wales, Victoria. Now, we have had multiple discussions throughout this year about potential state of origins versus different states, etc. Battle of the Border has been around for quite some time. New South Wales Vic, always a good time, and no doubt this one will go for it again. I would love to see this one broadcasted for anyone who's organising that particular tournament. Yeah, let us know if you need a commentator. That'd be a lot of fun. Following that, we then have another PPA event in New South Wales. So what's that, 3 now for the PPA Tour over in New South Wales as well. So those guys are really ramping up their New South Wales representation in 2026. QPT Mackay following that. Once again, going to those regional tournaments and getting other groups involved. That's a 2-day tournament, so a smaller tournament for QPT Mackay. And then the Aussie Masters in Sydney. So you will see we are doing quite a few trips to New South Wales with the Pickleball Tournaments Australia group. Once again, it's going to be an amazing and once again a smaller tournament. So 2-day event will be a great time. Barrington Seniors following that in New South Wales over in Taree. 12th to 14th of May. QPT Townsville. So we've now done, how many QPTs have we done? And we're only up to May. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've basically had 1 QPT a month leading into Townsville. Jeez, PAQ have gone mental. So either way, QPT Townsville has always been around. It's been around for a long time. I've been a little bit critical of it in the past simply because they just do not want anything to do with media and broadcasting. Either way, go and support them. Get behind the North Queensland pickleball scene. And it doesn't matter because I'll be doing the Melbourne Grand Slam anyway. So that's going to be in Victoria. Melbourne Grand Slam is just amazing. There's no way of putting it. Like, I'm about to do the Melbourne Grand Slam as I'm filming this one for you at time of recording. And I'm really happy to be able to do one in May for 2026, but it's just going to be an absolute doozy. Huge numbers, great turnout, good battles across the board. That is the week before the SA Champs. Now, I had the privilege of doing the 2025 South Australian Champs this year. My goodness, what an experience. I had the chance to commentate with a player that was over the age of 80. We had so much fierce competition between all the locals, and I got to see some real up-and-coming superstars from the South Australian pickleball scene, and as a result, they are now branching out and playing in a lot more of our pro events. SA, got a lot of love for them. This is one similar to, like I said, the other state events. It's just one you pencil in. If you have time off, go and attend it. It's just a good time all around. And then my beloved NT is the week after. So NT Champs down in Alice Springs, my hometown. It's great to see the NT Champs continuing to build, and I've kept up with the NT pickleball scene just quietly. I just quietly observe. I'll be up there in December for Christmas, and I will probably go and play pickleball at some point. So, NT just continues to build, and hopefully they're a slow burner. NT will take some time, but we've seen it with groups like ACT, the other Territorians. That state's gone mental, so it won't be long before NT follows suit. They're all sports mad up there, I would know. Budroom Open rounding out May there with the 30th and 31st of May. Now, June, we see Warrnambool. Now, when I did SA this year, so you'll notice that 22nd to 24th of May, Warrnambool's just after it in the 5th and 8th of June. This tournament was gigantic. Over in Victoria, this is one of those super underrated tournaments that, like, if you go, if you know what I mean. And I've heard so much about it. I would love to broadcast this event. That's obviously up to the tournament team, whether they would like it covered or not. But from what I heard from this year, it was just an exquisite experience. Really good to see more and more events popping up in, I guess, areas and regions that are not as common. Like we've already seen about 30 tournaments in Sydney. It's good to see other groups getting involved. Gold Coast Grand Slam, talking about groups that have had areas that have had a lot of tournaments. The GCGS is, this year, I've said the Gold Coast Grand Slam was the first perfect tournament in Australian pickleball history. I've been to more tournaments than anyone else in the country, easily, and it was perfect. the weather, we expected Armageddon this year. I'll be honest with you. We expected to get smashed by rain. It was nothing but clear skies. Really nice temperature. Everyone played really hard. And as such, just the tournament, it was the first time we tried the phone system with pickleball brackets. So everyone was on their courts really quickly, jumping in, jumping out. It is undisputably one of the best tournaments in the country, the Gold Coast Grand Slam. It doesn't matter your skill level. If you are a brand new player, put this on your list. We have dedicated divisions for the Gold Coast Grand Slam. We have para divisions for the Gold Coast Grand Slam. It's just, it can't be missed. Like, it's just an amazing experience all round. One you definitely have to. We have Kiwis come across. We've had a bunch of New Zealanders come across to attend the Gold Coast Grand Slam. It's really starting to build a bit of prestige about it, and as it should. It's just an immaculate experience for all involved. Following that, we then have another PCYC tournament, which is really cool to see the PCYC groups starting to get into the tournament space a bit more down in New South Wales. And then, lo and behold, another PPA tournament in New South Wales. My God, the Sydney Smash would be loving it, those guys. Now, keep in mind, we haven't seen an MLP event. So I wonder with the scheduling, whether some of these are, because they did that split thing. Maybe some of these might be MLPA, which would make sense. Who knows? We might come down to MLPA as we go along. Either way, the Sydney siders would be loving it. QPT Sunny Coast, great to see. Once again, I've talked about the Sunny Coast a bunch. It's good to see the Sunny Coast pickleball scene getting more involved, followed by the River City Classic. Now, I'm pleased to announce that I'm more or less already penciled in for this event. I've done the River City Classic since its inception. I tournament directed, pretty sure, the River City Classic when it first came out. It was one of the BPC events. It is one of the legacy tournaments. You had the Noosa tournament, River City Classic, and there was another one. I keep forgetting it. Is it Sunny Coast? No, it was Gold Coast. There was a tournament in Gold Coast that stopped. That's always been around. Either way, River City Classic and Noosa were always, for the OGs, they were ones you just penciled in. It might be the Brisbane Doubles Open I'm thinking of. No, I'm pretty sure it's the River City Classic for BPC. Great experience. And I'm so glad to be supporting Brisbane Pickleball Club again, one of the oldest clubs in Australia. Pride and Paddles following that at the same time slot down in Victoria in Melbourne. We're only up to July. My goodness. There are some tournaments, and I've just realised our schedule list doesn't even have September, October, November, December. So we're nearly done this video, viewers. Goodness me, this is good. So July 2026, we will see QPC, Queensland Pickleball Champs. I've had the privilege of more or less covering it since its inception. I did tournament direct this tournament way back in the day, and I've got a lot of time for QPC. This year, I did immense hours for QPC. Oh my goodness, it was like 50 hours filmed. That's not worked, that's filmed. And I tried my best to cover all different divisions, all different groups. And as such, there was just so much love from the community. Last couple of years, it's been out of Morayfield Sports and Events Centre. I was president of Morayfield Pickleball Club, so I got a lot of time for that particular area. QPC or BAQ, well, I imagine will make an announcement where the location is, no doubt soon, which is always good to see. To me, QPC is just a special event. Like, I always try and make time for it if I can, and time will tell where it's going to be played at. We then have another event in, look at that. That's a typo, viewers. Live typo here. Australian Masters Gold Coast will be played in Sydney. Is there a Gold Coast in Sydney? There might be. I don't know. I don't live in Sydney. That's at 11th, 12th July, wherever it may be. I imagine after this video, we might see a bit of a change. In July, we'll find out where we're going. I'm sure if I clicked this here, let's take a look actually. Let's bring up pickleball brackets. Okay. Nothing comes up. Fantastic. Thank you, Pickleball Brackets, for that helpful link. So, QPT Yeppoon. Let's move on. This is it's one of those tournaments where, you know, we look at other sporting events around. Like I think of historic tournaments. So, you know, I'm doing Kooyong for tennis, for the National Pickleball League in a couple of weeks' time. Well, when you guys see this, it'll be coming up very soon. And Kooyong is legendary. We've obviously got the Melbourne Cup. You know, we got the Anzac Day for the AFL, Bledisloe for rugby union. To me, QPT Yeppoon is quickly becoming that event for pickleball. It's an experience. It's not just a tournament. You know, if you want a holiday in the middle of the year to get away from the cold, go to Yeppoon. Like, see you soon in Yeppoon. It's literally their slogan. Go get stuck into some pineapples, enjoy the beautiful courts at QPT Yeppoon, go for a swim in the beaches. Like, it's just, what a wonderful experience the Yeppoon Pickleball Festival is. And I'm very happy to see it back on the list. Hopefully I'm broadcasting it. Admittedly, I haven't talked to the Yeppoon guys yet. That'll be on my to-do list. But you will see, viewers, that it is across 2 weekends. So you have the QPT Yeppoon, followed by the Yeppoon Pickleball Festival. This year they did the retro event. I just covered the QPT event, but from all accounts, the retro event apparently was an absolute blast. I saw a lot of pictures of people dancing and stuff, so no doubt you Yeppoonies would have been running amok. So once again, just what an amazing event. Yeah, if you're looking for annual leave in the middle of the year, that's the tournament. In the middle of that, we have the Hawkesbury Winter Tournament. I just talked about getting away from winter. If you are someone in New South Wales that wants to play in winter, there's one dedicated for you. PPA event following that, and yeah, I reckon the MLP PPA they've just listed it as a placeholder for PPA. They have an event in Victoria, 24th to 26th of July. Following that, another Yeppoon event, the Yeppoon Classic, 24th to 26th of July. Now you'll notice these are all, so they got 3 weekends there. No way. 17th and 20th. Oh no, so 17th leads into the Yeppoon Pickleball Festival, and then the following weekend is the Yeppoon Classic. That makes sense. Good time all round. Sydney Grand Slam, 1st and 2nd of August. This is our second Grand Slam Sydney event, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's the first one. So we are doing 2 Sydney Grand Slams next year. Once again, if you can't make the first one, there you go. Got a second opportunity. Get it done. Northern Rivers Regional Rally. Oh my goodness, what a terrific tournament it was this year. I was so happy to do this event out in Ballina. I will do everything I possibly can to try and commentate this event again. It was just a beautiful country pickleball tournament. Everyone was so welcoming. They had a bakery there. They had all the ladies that cooked all these wonderful baked goods. So everyone was just tucking into yummy food. We had just wonderful community spirit. Beautiful tournament, viewers. Honestly, to me, it's I will be going 100% if I can. Ballina group, reach out to me, please. I would love to do your event again. Following that, we have another event in Vic with the championships, 7th and 9th in August. Following the same weekend as the Northern Rivers Regional Rally. Then we have another QPT up in Cairns. So we've got Townsville and Cairns, both the northern groups getting QPTs. Good to see Cairns getting on board with the 8th and 9th of August. We then have a Queensland PPA event, potentially MLPA event from the 15th and 17th of August. And then an Aussie Masters in Melbourne, Victoria, 22nd to 23rd of August. It's great to see the Aussie Masters are sort of reaching out to more than just Queensland. We did a lot of Aussie Masters in Southeast Queensland this year, but next year we'll be doing more. Rounding it out, we will have QPT Hervey Bay. Now, for whatever reason, the committee decided to not have it broadcasted this year. Blew my mind. I don't know why, but the year before that, I had the pleasure of calling QPT Hervey Bay. What an amazing experience. Their courts are just beautiful, viewers, like lovely, lovely courts. And if I was to attend a QPT event as a player, it would probably be QPT Hervey Bay or Yeppoon. But I love I'm biased with Yeppoon. But Hervey Bay, if you are in Southeast Queensland, Brizzy, Sunny Coast or Gold Coast, Hervey Bay is not really that far. I talk about Kylie Dunn, the nutcase, one of the best refs in the country. She drives from Hervey Bay down to Brizzy all the time and flies around non-stop for tournaments. She is well and truly a pickleball addict. But she's living proof that Hervey Bay is not that far away, and it's a terrific experience. Hopefully I have opportunity to call their events again. If not, I hope it goes well anyway. Now, I did see that PAA were announcing the remainder of the year. Don't know why that's not public. I know for a fact the dates of other tournaments. But secret squirrel business, I guess. We can't announce it. I'm going to assume it's because certain events haven't been announced yet, like the Australian Pickleball Championships, which will obviously be in October, most likely in Gold Coast. Now, so we will keep this one posted. This is probably a good little, how are we going? 36 minutes here, so we're probably running out of time anyway. But this at least gives you a bit of an idea for the first start of the year. Big events to obviously talk about as well that are not in here. Toowoomba Carnival Bash will be in September. Exceptional tournament. I'll be covering that. Very much looking forward to that, as well as a couple of other Grand Slam and Aussie Masters events. In October, we will see 2 gigantic tournaments. So the Australian Pickleball Championships for starters, which is, oh man, this year was just phenomenal. I literally talked so much I lost my voice. It was crazy how much we worked, but it was a great experience. I really hope that it's broadcasted again. And hopefully you at home, if you haven't had a chance to play APC, it's almost a pilgrimage at this point. You have to attend APC. No doubt PA will announce where it is and when it is upcoming. Following that, November, December is big for our pro events. So we typically see, finals like I think at the time of recording, so 17th of November, we just saw a big major league event, or PPA event, in Melbourne. And, they usually round out their season. And then obviously in December, November, we do see the big NPL tournaments. So NPL finals will usually play for their season. And additionally, we will see typically a big NPL tournament. I have been notified of some pretty big news regarding the NPL stuff. That's probably going to be a separate video altogether, viewers. I just don't want to go and announce things until they're ready to publicly address it. So pretty exciting year. And the other big event that'll be coming up in October, most likely, hasn't been announced yet, is the New Zealand Open. And let's have a look at what's happening over in NZ. So the Pickleball New Zealand Association, I love the NZ pickleball scene. I don't even pretend to hide my bias. I do everything I can to promote these guys and girls. They are starting their year with a bang. Now, their page, they still have to announce, what's going on later in the year, but at least we get a start because it's early, right? So at least we get a sticky beak at what's going on at the start. Now, they've just had representation for the Pickleball World Cup, 2nd year in the row. Great to see the Kiwis out there. We obviously sent a side for Australia as well, but for NZ, man, the NZ Open they have some good players. I reckon it'll be not too far away before they are like a legitimate world. They're going to make notice on the world. Just they have so many gun players. You got the Tongan, the Samoan communities just producing absolute just weapons on the court. And obviously our Kiwis are playing very well as well. So they have an NZ Masters event the 2nd and 5th of Feb. If you are someone who's looking at it, considering popping over the ditch to go and support the NZ pickleball scene, give it a go. And one of my favourite tournaments of all time, the 2026 Wellington Pickleball Cup. Now, this is at the 6th and 8th of February. It is, oh man, just what a beautiful experience. They're talking about the wellies. There's Paula. There's the welly crew in the middle. Oh no, there's me. How did I manage to get me? Look at how big that neck is, Dylan. Jeez, no good. Let's go up so we avoid that nonsense. But the Welly Pickleball Cup is a tournament that it's just, if you're looking to go across to New Zealand, to me, the NZ Open Welly Cup are just such good experiences. I will be pleased to announce that I am commentating the Wellington Pickleball Cup this year. I cannot wait. What a start of the year. I have the Hobart Grand Slam straight into the Wellington Pickleball Cup. It is the perfect way to start the year. I've already talked to a bunch of Aussies that are going across for the Welly Cup. They are very excited. So it is at the Yakatangi Sports Centre in Wellington. Beautiful indoor facility. Obviously, yes, we are playing indoors. I know a lot of our Australians don't like playing on the wooden surfaces, but when Wellington is called Windy Wellington for a reason. So as such, it's best that we do play indoors. Beautiful facility though. that, viewers, if you are looking for an international, I don't really consider New Zealand an international, but if you're looking for an international tournament to visit, Welly Cup, just get it done. It is just immaculate to attend. So, viewers, that will round out our first little part of the 2026 year, I suppose. Obviously, as I said, more announcements will be made, and we haven't even talked about the National Pickleball League and international tournaments. There are going to be some doozies. And also, we haven't talked about the Tennis Australia tournaments. Oh no, don't bring it up, Dylan. Don't bring up the elephant in the room, or elephant in the kitchen, as I've been referring to them. They will no doubt have tournaments as well, including the AO Slam. Now, I have reached out to TA regarding their AO Slam and just finding out what's happening and if they're doing an event. And I'm just waiting for a response that I can give you publicly on it. So watch this space. And on that topic, viewers, 30th of April, D-Day, I have talked about the National Sporting Organisation, application process. 30th of April is the big day because that's when a lot of the government grants and dates close for a lot of things. And I believe NSO is in that discussion piece as well. So that time of the year, let's see what's happening in April. I know we've just covered it. April's already mental. We've got about 47 tournaments in April. On top of that, we have NSO potentially. They'll either make a decision on if it's TA or PA, or it'll be announced that no one gets it and we have to wait another year. So we will see. I will potentially do some info on that. Depends if PA want me to. They weren't happy that I did my last TA video, but the members, all of you, loved it because we all need to keep informed regarding all of our pickleball news. So on that note, viewers, we're going to close things down. If you do enjoy the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, follow us on socials. Just see what's happening. 2026 is going to be mental. I have all of this, as well as all of my Queensland AFL, paddle, potentially baseball, wheelchair, basketball, rugby, all the stuff that I do. Next year is going to be mental. And I still haven't made my gigantic announcement yet. They will be coming out soon. It's going to massively affect the Australian-New Zealand pickleball scene. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video live here on my YouTube channel.